Ashtar command politics in the world? Certainly, there are many people who expect us to take a stance on this matter, waiting for us to indicate the best path to follow regarding political agendas and their respective representatives. As we have previously stated, it is evident that the changes in your world will not occur under the jurisdiction of any leader currently known on your planet, and we can affirm this with 100% certainty. Even though some of these leaders may exhibit more positive inclinations than others, generally speaking, none of them will lead the transformations and spearhead the new society that will form on Earth. The new governances are still behind the scenes, preparing to take their positions and advance their agendas, and their starting points are morally light years ahead of many of the current political discussions. As happens with many aspects of your planet, the primary intentions in this field were inspired with the goal of creating a balanced organization, guided by laws, order, and structure. However, considering that the human species has not yet achieved the necessary degree of balance and diplomacy, it became easy for agents of darkness to infiltrate human minds. Thus, something that was meant to be merely an inspiring form of organization, based on a normative and harmonious science, turned into an environment of exaggerated ego, manipulation, and distortion of important facts in your history. Furthermore, it created a scenario ripe for pursuing personal advantages, constructing narratives that keep people ignorant of everything around them. It is no coincidence that discussing extraterrestrial life remains a taboo in this context, or, at best, is treated as something under analysis. Ambition and conflicts. By becoming an environment where ambition for power and manipulation reign, politics began to attract forces that naturally align with these same values. Governing has always been the desire of many souls, especially those who consider themselves superior to others. Unsurprisingly, this has caused many galactic conflicts that we ourselves have witnessed. Talking about politics inevitably means talking about governance, especially in the terrestrial context. However, genuine governance is only possible when there is love, ethics, and a true desire to collaborate with others, particularly in the case of hierarchies designated for leadership. Anything less than this, and governance in your world has become a tool for personal elevation, where many seek power merely to impose their agendas, often by force, without even allowing public opinion to become informed. Of course, there are many aspects we could explore here, from karma to the mission of a soul immersed in Earth's political sphere. Regardless, things will change, and you will be astonished by what has been hidden from you. In a scenario where respect for even the most basic laws of nature has not been honored, or is not being honored, and which has brought the planet to a delicate state, requiring our more direct intervention, it is undeniable that political science should have served to guide societies, in a normative way, toward respecting these natural laws. It should also have fostered good coexistence among peoples. However, that is not what happened. Your governments, most of them, despite appearing to promote balanced policies, have done little more than create borders, divide, and pit people against one another, when the idea would be to promote unity. Thus, the true meaning of the word politics, or what it should represent, has become something superficial. In the end, what emerges is a society in constant conflict, where it becomes difficult to introduce genuinely transformative agendas that could politically guide your civilizations toward balance. Origin of politics. The origin of the word, from the Greek term politik, which essentially meant government of the city for the common good of all citizens, starkly contrasts with what is seen today, where government often seeks only its own good and that of its allies. We are not against politics, obviously. But the way it is currently practiced in your world will neither sustain itself nor align with the agendas we bring at this moment. These agendas will be introduced gradually, and finally, politics will see its original idea truly applied. For many generations, the souls of Earth felt the need to follow leaderships, delegating control of their own paths to others deemed superior or more capable. Origin of politics. The origin of the word, from the Greek term politik, which essentially meant government of the city for the common good of all citizens, starkly contrasts with what is seen today, where government often seeks only its own good and that of its allies. We are not against politics, obviously. But the way it is currently practiced in your world will neither sustain itself nor align with the agendas we bring at this moment. These agendas will be introduced gradually, and finally, politics will see its original idea truly applied. For many generations, the souls of Earth felt the need to follow leaderships, delegating control of their own paths to others deemed superior or more capable. This, in turn, has the power to inspire the collective to evolve morally and diplomatically, pressuring political leaderships to step back from old agendas that often serve only minorities. The Earth is your home, and you will only advance when it is duly respected. Many are finally realizing this, and understanding that love for the planet is what will free you from all suffering and oppression. Mother Nature has been devastated for centuries. Currently, she writhes to maintain a minimum of balance and harmony, still respecting the human presence on the surface. The more conscious among you already perceive the need for this care, as we are reaching a point of no return. From this milestone onward, care for nature and living beings will be one of the main indicators of a person's moral and ethical conduct, including that of a potential leader. As consciousness expands, we, of the Federation, closely observe nature's responses to this progress, and the movements of those who are behind the scenes, ready to assume leadership. There is still much work to be done. In the time remaining before we officially land in your world, we instruct, through many of our incarnated emissaries, about important observations that must be constantly raised at opportune moments. Take care of the planet. Honor your home in this universe, so that the Earth itself may spare you from a harsher rearrangement. It is clear that it is not, and never has been, Gaia's desire to agitate as she has been doing. But she, like you, feels pain. Her contractions are ways of relieving herself. Keep this in mind, friends of Earth, she needs you like never before. Many of your ancient philosophers have reincarnated in your world to contribute to this process of social remodeling. Many of them were, in the past, thinkers and creators of political movements. Not only them, but also souls from across the universe are arriving in Earth's environment, prepared to participate in this transformation that will forever change the way politics is understood, as well as deepen the true meaning of diplomacy and ethics. This is a time prophesied by many of your ancestors, and several of them, in some way, are returning now to complete the goals they once set. These are times of great callings. And we, of the command, continue to warn the elites who, in a disconcerted manner, try to fix the world in their own way, attempting to appear as good guys, while knowing we are watching. We have already given them an ultimatum: give up and abandon your thirst for power, for you have little time left before the decrees we bring from the heavens are executed upon the earth. Even as they continue building their underground caves to hide from us, they forget that we also have our bases in the deepest environments of the earth. And we lack no means to surround them in all their initiatives. Here, once again, this warning. Give up, for the peoples of Earth have earned the right to freedom through their own efforts. And we are here to ensure that this is fulfilled. Adonai. The light has already won. With the challenging things that are surfacing in the outer world, it seems as though even the light workers are experiencing a sense of urgency. Today, the company of heaven wants to help us put our observations into perspective. These messengers from our Father Mother God are also reminding us to take advantage of the opportunity at hand. The life-transforming influx of brand new DNA awakening solar light codes which we are able to receive now that the grossly mutated psychic astral realm of illusion has been transfigured into a very thin gossamer veil, have catapulted us forward in the light a quantum leap. The urgency we feel has nothing to do with the surfacing negativity. That is an essential part of our ascension process. The feeling of urgency is a clarion call from the realms of illumined truth, inspiring us to grasp this cosmic moment. We are multidimensional beings of light, and we abide in many realms of higher consciousness simultaneously. This includes the realms of cause, where everything begins. Once something is co-created in the realms of cause by awakening humanity, nothing can prevent that co-creation from eventually manifesting in the world of form. The only variable is how long it will take, and that is up to you and me. The physical manifestation occurs when awakened humanity deliberately focuses on the co-creation and breathes those patterns of perfection into the divinity of our heart flames. Then through our creative faculties of thought and feeling, we must express those patterns of light in our daily lives through our thoughts, feelings, words, and actions. Once we reach a critical mass of those light patterns, an unstoppable shift occurs, and the co-creation manifests in the world of form. The wondrous news our Father, Mother, God, and the legions of light throughout the whole of creation are revealing to us now is that the new fifth-dimensional crystalline solar Earth in all of her resplendent glory has been God victoriously co-created in the realms of cause. This means that literally and tangibly the light has won. Even though there is still resistance, and there are asleep and recalcitrant souls fighting tooth and nail to maintain their power, wealth, and the status quo, their nefarious efforts are futile. At this time, Mother Earth and all life evolving upon her are still in the process of assimilating the incredible light we were blessed with during the eclipse series and the equinox in March. Now, beginning Sunday, April 13, 2025, billions of people around the world will focus on Holy Week and the global celebrations of Passover and Easter. This global focus of attention involving billions of people on Earth will create a collective cup of humanity's consciousness, through which the annual influx of the resurrection flame will flow to bless all life. This year, since the veil of illusion has been transfigured, Mother Earth and all life evolving upon her are able to receive the full divine momentum of the Mother of Pearl resurrection flame unimpeded. We are being told from on high that this will be the most powerful assistance from the resurrection flame that humanity has ever been able to safely experience. In order for us to fully grasp what this gift of the resurrection flame truly means for humanity, the elemental kingdom and Mother Earth, the company of heaven, is reminding us of what an important role this gift from our Father, Mother, God is playing in our ascension process. Please allow these words to resonate within the flame of illumined truth in your heart. This is the miracle of the resurrection flame. Eons ago, when the children of God began experimenting with our gift of life and departed from the love-based qualification of our creative faculties of thought and feeling, our Father, Mother, God perceived the shadow of our miscreations taking form in the astral plane surrounding the earth and within the consciousness of our earthly bodies. Our godparents knew that the fruits of those seeds would be aging, disease, disintegration, and decay. They further understood that some means of restoration would have to be provided to the children of Earth who would one day desire to return to the perfection of our original God state. To begin the process of manifesting that restorative power, our Father, Mother, God breathed into their heart flames, from the very core of creation, the radiance of the Mother of Pearl resurrection flame. This sacred fire is a multifaceted and multidimensional frequency of light, by which the aged, diseased, distorted, and disintegrating carbon-based substance generated by the misuse of humanity's thoughts and feelings can be purified, restored, rejuvenated, and resurrected back into its original God perfection. When all was in readiness, our Father, Mother, God summoned two mighty solar archangels from the great silence to bring the sacred resurrection flame to earth. Through the heart flames of these mighty archangels, who are known through all creation as the Angel of Resurrection, and his twin flame, the Angel of Restoration and Renewal, the Mother of Pearl resurrection flame was anchored on earth. From that moment forth, the Angel of Resurrection and the Angel of Restoration and Renewal have accepted the responsibility of bathing the earth in the resurrection flame, in a rhythmic momentum. The sacred fire flows through the portal formed during the March equinox every year and baths the earth for several weeks. In the northern hemisphere, the resurrection flame is the frequency of light that awakens the hibernating animals and brings the plants and trees back to life after the dormant winter months. The resurrection flame is also the sacred fire from the heart of God that resurrected Jesus' crucified carbon-based planetary body into his fifth-dimensional crystalline-based solar light body. This occurred 3 days after the crucifixion on what Christians now celebrate as Easter Sunday. What the company of heaven wants us to know today is how the resurrection flame can assist us during the greatly accelerated ascension process we are currently experiencing. This sacred fire will help us to enhance the divine alchemy of transfiguring our own carbon-based planetary bodies, and the maladies manifesting in those bodies into the fifth-dimensional crystalline-based solar light bodies we will abide in when we complete our ascension onto the new Earth. This year, 2025, due to the need of the hour, and the unique awakening taking place within the masses of humanity, our Father Mother God have granted the Angel of Resurrection, and his beloved twin flame, the Angel of Restoration and Renewal, permission to breathe higher frequencies of the Mother of Pearl Resurrection flame into Mother Earth's fifth-dimensional crystalline grid of comprehensive divine love. These are frequencies of the resurrection flame beyond anything humanity has been able to assimilate at a cellular level. This monumental amplification of the resurrection flame will quicken the vibratory rate of humanity's, the elemental kingdoms and Mother Earth's carbon-based cells. This will allow our silent watcher, our I Am presence, and our body elemental, to activate within the core of purity in every atomic and subatomic particle and wave of our physical, etheric, mental and emotional bodies higher frequencies of God's infinite light than we have experienced since our fall from grace. Our body elemental will then be able to cast the mutated substances that are still contaminating our cells into the violet flame, where they will be transmuted back into their original perfection. This will clear the way so that each of our cells will be able to receive the highest possible frequencies of God's fifth-dimensional crystalline solar light. When we invoke and freely partake of the gifts and blessings pulsating within the new frequencies of the fifth-dimensional Mother of Pearl Resurrection flame, we will avail ourselves of the restorative and rejuvenating power that will greatly expand the unique awakening taking place within our 12 fifth-dimensional crystalline solar strands of DNA and our 12 fifth crystalline solar chakra system. By affirming the following mantra on a regular basis, each of us will empower the divine alchemy taking place within our earthly bodies. As a note of clarity, the term immaculate concept refers to the original divine blueprint, and the full divine potential of whatever we are invoking. Please listen to your heart and affirm this mantra as often as you are inspired to do, so it is a gift from on high that has been building in momentum for millennia. I am the resurrection and the life. I am the resurrection and the life of the immaculate concept of humanity's, the elemental kingdoms and Mother Earth's physical, etheric, mental and emotional bodies now tangibly manifest and eternally sustained by divine grace. I am the resurrection and the life of the immaculate concept of humanity's, the elemental kingdoms and Mother Earth's physical, etheric, mental and emotional bodies now tangibly manifest and eternally sustained by divine grace. I am the resurrection and the life of the immaculate concept of humanity's, the elemental kingdoms and Mother Earth's physical, etheric, mental and emotional bodies now tangibly manifest and eternally sustained by divine grace. And so it is. Dear one, during this sacred and holy time allow these new frequencies of the Mother of Pearl Resurrection flame to flow through your heart flame to bless you, your loved ones, and all life belonging to or serving the earth at this time. God bless you. I look forward to being with you next week. Patricia Cota Robles. Lord Melchizedek, shine your light. I am Lord Melchizedek, I greet you beloveds. I thank each and every one of you that you are on planet Earth. Yes, so often you ask yourself, how am I going to go through this time? And sometimes there's a doubt whether you are ascending. And yet know that both the new Earth and the old Earth are there simultaneously. And although the two are splitting, it does not mean that the old Earth is just going to vanish overnight. Because you are light workers, you also anchor in light, and you anchor in love, and you anchor in divine power, and you anchor in divine wisdom. And as you are purified, you purify the whole earth. Never underestimate why you are here. Shine your light. And as you shine your light and you live your love, and you live your truth, you are helping to awaken others. But most of all, you are that beacon of light that shows others the way. I am the path, the truth, the way. That is what you in truth are. And my beloveds, many of you are already highly ascended masters in your true soul self. Yes, many of you are at multiple levels, not just there and your embodiment on earth. But the time will come when you remember, and it is happening now. Is not the time to shrink, but is a time to expand and to know that there is no end to the possibilities of what you now can grow into and expand into, and to become and be. Because the higher you go in frequency, the more you can access your soul talents and abilities, and all the knowledge and the wisdom that you've had since time immemorial. Do not get yourself distracted by what is going on in the world. Rather look inside and ask, what is going on inside me and how can I raise my consciousness level? How can I truly be who I am in truth? And how can I live this in a far greater degree? See, that inner work is so important, because when you do the inner work, you are allowing every soul on earth, and every man and woman and child to do the same. A master walks the path and is not worried about who is enlightened, and who's not. A master simply shines with love, power, and wisdom, love and light and power. Many of you were part of the Essenes and the ancient mystery schools, and many others, many of you from the yogic tradition, many of you had your own ashrams at stages in ancient times long before Atlantis and Lemuria and Elysium, and the Lion Kingdom and Avalon. The women priestesses and high priestesses had far superior powers than the men. And that came through their own abilities with the all-seeing, the all-hearing, and the all-knowing, plus their own intuitive abilities. That's why they were the oracles. They were the prophets. They were those who guided communities to look after the well-being of the communities, and not just people but animals, plants, trees, forests, waters, air, fires. The Native Americans, where medicine wheels were created by women. The prayer wheels of the Buddhist were invented by women. And ancient India. The rishis were women and men. Many of the great yogis and Buddhists, and those that have ascended were women. But see, when patriarchy took over after the fall of Atlantis, women were persecuted, and were not allowed eventually to even hold any office, as happened in the church, and many other religious organizations. Yet look at your sister Mary Magdalene. There she is, ascended master dedicating herself to dissolve all religious separation, and create oneness and unity. Yet when she was on earth, she was persecuted, and so were many of you. As the divine feminine has returned now, and is fully anchored into the earth again, it's time to speak. It's time to live your truth and lead humanity into the new earth and the new golden age. The divine feminine is the one who gives birth. Now become pregnant with that new golden age and birth it. And when the mother has that child in her womb and in her heart, she nurtures that child. She is there, and all that she is, because within her something very primordial is activated, that of the divine. And it doesn't matter if you never had children. Deep in you, you still are a mother. Even if it is to other children. Because most often the ones who never have children become the ones that children need, because they often cannot share some things with their own parents. That's why you always had women teachers. The greatest of all of these teachers was Judith, Judy, the great oracle and priestess, high priestess. She was the one that taught Yeshua from the age of 5. She was the one who went traveling with him as he went to India, to all the mystery schools even in Britain and France and Greece and Delphi. She is the one who was his mentor and guide for the rest of his life on earth. There were many, many great prophets of the Essenes, and many great oracles and healers have all returned. The same applies to the Cathars. The same applies to a very high sisterhood within the yogic traditions, and within the Vedic traditions. The great Master Babaji's sister is one other, Kuan Yin is another. Lady Venus is another. Athena is another. Lady Nada is another. The list goes on and on, and on. And Europe and Britain and that which once was Avalon. It includes Spain and much land that has sunk under the sea. They were highly trained druids, but also again with the prophecies, the oracles, the teaching, the tending of communities, the healers. They knew how to work with the standing stones, because the standing stones are pure crystal. They are living beings. If you know how to use them, you can manifest anything into form and being. They were used for teleportation by location. They were used to open portals. They were used with sound to build. The women were in charge of the power of sound. And they had specific chants that they chanted in order to levitate the vast tons of blocks. Make them feather light, dissolve them, and then place them perfectly into place, just with their use of sound, and their own abilities with their heart connection, to bring them into perfection. Women have immense manifesting abilities, and in ways of the heart. And the Sisterhood of the Rose have always held that. Yes, your memory banks are getting triggered, because it's time for you to remember. As I am speaking this, your higher transmitted channels are being activated. You will find that you will simply start singing in the light language, that songs will just sprout from you and come from the real soul, that you are. SourceArrayOfLight.com. The other videos are in the English video playlist. Help me spread the light, click like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.